So I'm going to try to make this video a little bit of a rush. So today we had the Hell Let Loose roadmap drop today, and Hell Let Loose YouTube page decided to drop it on there at 11 o'clock Eastern and break it down a little bit and talk about it. And we have an actual roadmap. It's a little different from previous roadmaps in its orientation, so we're going to break that down. And overall, we're just going to keep it short and simple, talk about the Hell Let Loose 2023 roadmap. The only other thing I'll mention is I will have another video coming. It's going to be a historical one. Sorry, it's been taking a little bit to get out, but without any delay, let's get into it. So I tried to get the best quality photo I could for the roadmap, but at least even on the surface, you can see that the orientation is different from previous roadmaps we've had. So something a little different. It's basic, but it gets the job done. So over the course of the year, we're in April 2023 right now. So looking forward, we've got 5 months coming of content, starting in this month with update 13.5. Then we move into our next updates, which will be coming in June with some really big high points on that one, which I might need to talk about in another video due to a certain thing I'm going to mention here. July, September, and December. So across the year, we're going to have several updates kind of spread out nicely. And again, this is mostly just a general overview. I'm going to break down all the months here in a minute and talk about what we have going on there. So starting in April, this pretty much boils down to what I talked about in my previous announcement video about update 13.5. Basically, it's a quality of life update or a health update involving some bug fixing, the near miss DLC, the gameplay analytics, and then a DLC of the German uniforms. That's pretty much all we're going to get for April, which, again, I don't mind the quality of life update. It's something that we will get as a starter, and then we'll move into June. So that's April in a nutshell. Moving on to June, which appears to have the most content or the most in the roadmap. So along with some general bug fixing, another free DLC and quality of life improvements, game analytics, stuff like that. There's a map refresh, basically to help update the maps a little bit, make them a little bit better. They did talk about potentially adding some new weather aspects to the game on certain maps, so we can keep a lookout for that, as mentioned in the video that I will leave in the description. But improved player locomotion. I mentioned this also in the update announcement video that was something that they were working on, basically revolving around the mantling mechanic and how just all the getting caught on stuff, certain things you can't mantle over. I'm looking forward to this one personally. Non-verbal communication tools. Basically, if you don't have a mic, it'll allow people to at least still somewhat communicate to you. Don't know how this will be, if this is going to be an emote or a text chat thing. Didn't really mention much, just they mentioned that it was going to be some non-verbal communication tools. This could be anything. At least this is something nice, because then if those who don't really want to communicate and they're just that hardcore, I don't want to talk to anyone, but they can do those text chats at limited effort or whatever it is, it's at least something. I mean, I'm still under the impression you should probably have a mic, but they did understand the frustration with that, so I'll give them credit for that. The biggest one that I'm looking forward to, and I bet a lot of people are looking forward to, are the British forces. The Commonwealth is finally coming, and we have it coming in June. No exact day for it, but it's coming in June as far as the roadmap's concerned. I'm thinking about doing a breakdown video, that one, about what to potentially expect. But moving on from that, a new website, a merch store, which don't know much about, and then another DLC, assuming it is just a cosmetics DLC, nothing major. Nothing was mentioned about the British and being put behind a paywall or anything like that. They mentioned how Black Matter, the studios, implemented the Russians and all the other factions accordingly. So we should be getting a free British forces update soon in June. So that's June broken down. Not far from June, we have July, which has some really nice aspects coming to it as well. So, on top of the usual bug fixing and probably health updates that they were announcing back in March, we will have a new tutorial system. So there will finally be something besides the field manual and the tips in game to help new players learn the game, which I think is a big thing. Sure, I may have some guides and that might take away from me, but I'm fine with that in the sense of this is just helping new players in game really quickly get at least some gist of it, which there's really not much in the game as it is besides the field manual, and I don't know if I would really count that as a true tutorial. I'm just hoping it's implemented correctly, and I've got high hopes for it. Another big one is a new game mode. So, in the video, they talked about the Break Core Manor objective and the historical context behind it with the memoirs of Dick Winters and 101st Airborne. They're turning that into a game mode since they talked about how not everyone has a chance to sit down for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours and play a full game. This one's going to be more of a 30-minute game mode, something a little smaller, and they're taking the Break Core Manor objective at St. Mary du Mont and turning that into a game mode. So that's that. So I'm looking forward to that. I think everyone will be looking forward to that. Some other DLCs, including 101st Airborne, and a in-game store, which I didn't see much about that in the video, but it is mentioned. And that's pretty much July. Quickly moving to September, there's not much to really touch on about September. It pretty much is just them wanting to expand the game to other audiences, such as Windows 10, or a Windows 10 version of Hell Let Loose, some map refresh, a Steam Deck verified version, and another cosmetic DLC. Nothing major here. So September, although as mentioned, it's going to be probably the quietest month of the roadmap. So just again wanted to touch on it though. Lastly, we have December, which just going from it, we have more aspects of a tutorial system. But the big pieces here are the Finnish and Polish forces coming to the game. So, and these are also early war. So we're talking 1939, 40, 41. In particular, the Battle of Danzig and the Winter War. So those are two big things to look out for. I'm interested how they develop those with the more early war system. And also new game mode Skirmish, which as far as I could tell, talked about the battle for the post office in Danzig or Gdansk, depending on how you, just in historical aspects and what it is today, as well as a updated game audio and soundtrack system, I guess. And again, looks like to be another DLC, cosmetics as far as we know. But that's all the roadmap pretty much broken down, at least in the different months. Now, overall, I have high hopes, just giving some final remarks here. I have some high hopes for this as long as they stick with it. And this could be a very good year for the game moving forward. So as long as they stick with this and no major issues arise, we should have a very good year for the game moving forward. But other than that, that's all I have for you today. There'll be a historical video coming out here soon. But I'm going to try to have that out this week as fast as I can. Just been very busy the last couple weeks with just everything going on in the background. But I hope to see you soon. I hope you enjoyed this video. And I look to see you on the battlefield. Have a good rest of your day. See you in the next video.